Hello everyone, Lee here. Today we are making the bullet casing paracord bracelet. I've wanted to make this bracelet for a few weeks now and I'm very pleased with the results. I originally got this video idea from CBYS Paracord & More. The supplies I used in this video were 7 foot of 550 paracord, electrical wire, which I will have down in the description, as well as wrist circumference, a foot and a half of gutted 550 paracord, a hot glue gun, and needle nose pliers. You will see me using a pair of Dykes, but needle nose are sufficient. And the most important part, 2 bullet casings. I will have everything in the description. Now enough talk, let's get to it. Okay, so to get this one started, you just want to get your electrical wire, cut it big enough that you know it's going to fit around your wrist. So I think this is going to be more than enough to fit around mine. So you want to wrap it around, and you just got to bend it. You'll have to straighten it back out after this, but make sure you get it tighter on your wrist. All right, and then right here, we just want to pinch this right here and pull it off your wrist. All right, and then with your pair of Dykes or needle nose pliers, I have both. I'm just using my Dykes to make it easier. We're going to cut this. Okay, and so after you cut that, you should have this, which fits perfectly around your wrist, and just straighten it back out the best you can. Okay, and after you've done that, with your cut piece, you can butt it up next to your spool of wire and cut it the same length so that we didn't waste any more wire than what we did for the first one by cutting, too long of ones. So just go ahead and cut this pretty close, and just make sure they're the same length. Those look pretty close. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our needle nose. Now, I know I got some old rusty needle nose, but they'll still work. So, take it and you want to bend the end, and you just want to make a little loop on the end. Try to make it as small as possible, and only do it on one side. So, it should look just like this. And just keep bending until you have it almost touching the wire. Okay, and so once you have something like this, just go ahead and take this, and you want to do that to your other one too. Try to make them the same size loops, and when you're doing it, it's going to bend your wire, so just try to straighten it back out when you're done. Alright, so once you bend both sides, or both pieces of wire on the end, and keeping one side open, you want to get two strips about just a little longer than your wire. So right here, as you can see, mine's just slightly longer, and you want to de-gut the center. So I know there's some of you who don't know what that means, so you just want to make sure both your ends are cut, and you're pretty much just pulling the center of the paracord out. So you're taking all this and pulling it out so that we're able to slide it over our wire like so. So it's really like this, and then we'll cut that in a second. So just go ahead and do that to your other side too. So you want to take the white out the center, so then you want to slide it onto your wire. Try not to pierce the paracord, just so it looks nice and all. Alright, so now we can take our scissors and cut these ends so that it's flat with our metal. Alright, and then you can also use your lighter. So you can go ahead and melt the ends just a little bit, just to keep it down. And you can do that to this side as well. And then go ahead and do that to the other side as well. Alright, and if you haven't already, go ahead and plug in your hot glue gun because we're about to use it pretty soon. So what you want to do is you want to get your pliers again, your needle nose pliers, and we want to bend it the same direction this one is. So this one's bent in, so we want to bend this one in as well. So you just take your pliers and start bending it in, and do that to both pieces of wire. Alright, so I've completed one side, and we can just go ahead and proceed on with the same process to the other one. Alright, so once you finish that, then you just want to straighten back out your wire the best you can, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so at this point, we can go ahead and start filling our shells with hot glue. So I like to fill mine about halfway, and then you'll just take both of these ends and stick them all the way down and push it all the way down to the bottom. Let's just remove these strings the best we can. Be careful not to burn yourself, it does get hot through these shells. So take both your ends and just stick them down in there and push all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and after that, you should have one side done. Push them all the way down to the bottom, and you can just go ahead and proceed on to the other side. So just take your other shell, fill it about halfway. Make sure you push these all the way down to the bottom in there, and you'll be good to go. Okay, and if you got any hot glue on the rim of the shell, now would be your time to pull it off, because you're not going to be able to after this next step. So we're going to take our pliers and we're going to stick it in the center and just push it down to kind of separate either side. Try not to mess up the paracord too bad when doing this, and this should separate it enough. So I'm going to keep doing that just to try to get the center out a little bit more, but yeah, this is how it should look. Okay, so now we can go ahead and make the bracelet. So all I did was took my center point and just laid it behind the actual core itself. So we're just making the fishtail. You're probably familiar with this. If not, I'll go ahead and show you how to make it. So what you want to do is you want to take your right cord and pass it through the center. And just bring that off to the left. Alright, you can just push it up. It's not going to matter right now. So just take your left cord and we're just going to pass that through the center as well. Alright, so it's pretty simple, and just you want to get these tight at the top. Alright, and one more time, just take your right cord and it goes through the center, and just bring that off to the left, like so. Slide it up, take your left cord, put it through the center, and bring it off to the right. Alright, and you should have something that looks like this, like the fishtail. So we're just going to keep going down our bracelet until we get to the end, and I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, and so down here at the end, it gets kind of tough to get these last few pieces through, so I'm using my hemostats to get them through. The needle nose pliers should work, and if you have a fid, that might possibly work. I haven't tried it yet. It's kind of hard to get it through the metal. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and finish these last few, and I'll show you what to do from there. Alright, so it might take a little bit before you get your cord through there, but I ended up working it through with my hemostat. So now we can take our scissors and cut them, like so. Just get them out of here. So get my lighter and my knotter's tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix this up. And yeah, you'll be done, so you can just form it around your wrist, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Alright, so once you finish bending it around your wrist, you should have about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch gap in between each shell. And yeah, there you go. So that's the bracelet. And to take it off, you'll just kind of push your finger, I mean not your finger, your wrist through that gap, and yeah. So there you go. That's the bullet casing paracord bracelet. Hope you liked it, and I hope you're able to make it.